Very much for that, Mark. Well, let's just end quickly, if we may, Alex, on the subject of wind farms in France.
Yes, Stop These Things is the blog that reports this best in English. A top French court strikes down unlawful wind farm planning rules. It's actually even retroactive. This is a really powerful finding. I will not read all that, but look in the middle there, you'll find an accurate and very welcome description of the French Council of State. It's something that really breaks the separation of powers, but sometimes it has its uses. It legally advises the executive, and it's the Supreme Court for administrative justice, which means people complaining about their government's actions towards them. And you'll see at the top there that there's 2 Australian rulings that this blog covers as well, finding the same reason why wind farms are a bad thing and unlawful and unjust, namely that the measurement of noise, pollution, annoyance, and distress to people and animals is not properly done. The Council of State here, this is described in Tichy's Einblick as well. You'll find it in the show notes and the German piece. Basically struck out all of the noise pollution measurement protocols which the French state has put into place, basically in the name of a minister. And they said that this has not been tested properly. There's no comeback on it. There's no transparency. And being France, they've decided to go the whole hog and say that if you build any wind farms from now on, they must be completely assessed for environment. And existing ones now are found to have been based on illegal ministerial decrees because there was no proportionality or transparency. So normally, in normal circumstances, they will be banned from operating existing wind farms in a European member state, a European Union member state. Quite something. There we are. There's the German Tichy's Einblick giving more detail, which I won't read now. But it is a violation of the law. That's the key thing that the Council of State found. It's not just saying we wish that things were done better. It's actually telling the government they've done wrong. And there's the judgment itself, which is, of course, is in French, will be linked in the show notes, telling people in government that you cannot get away with any more wind farms on the basis of these unassessed decrees that the noise annoyance is within tolerable limits.
Alex, thank you very much for that. Fascinating report, because many, many years ago when the wind farms were starting to go up in Cornwall, UK Column was contacted by a number of people talking about the noise problem. And I found it interesting that when I read the environmental impact reports, such as there were at that stage, they were extremely weak on noise. And my own experience in noise in the Royal Navy, underwater noise, but many of the tributes are exactly the same, told me that a lot more work was needed in order to be able to be sure that there weren't noise problems associated, particularly low frequency noise associated with the actual turbine blades rotating themselves as opposed to the gearbox noise. But maybe more on that another time. Alex, end us very quickly. You've got a couple of memes which we thought were worth showing the audience today.
Apologies that I don't know the source of this US cartoon, but you can see America on fire with crumbling infrastructure, total alcohol and drug dependence. And there is wizened old senile Uncle Joe telling America's kids that democracy is in danger, and he's holding up a hand puppet of Trump as the devil incarnate. Well, apparently there's nothing to see wrong with the current administration. We have a German meme here. Somebody is being SWAT raided for some free speech in Germany, and they're being yelled at the door to open up, it's democracy calling. And finally, it's not even a comedy piece, but it's certainly got something sweet about it. Glasgow City Council, much featured in today's news, is having a mutiny against its own low emission zone, because it being Glasgow, people do as they please. They don't shy away from authority figures. So many of the council's own workers, which is a huge number of people in Glasgow, are saying, I am not paying these penalties. So the council may be hoisted by its own petard there.
What a world, clown world. I think many people are starting to call it, but it's clown world with some very dark attributes in the background. I'm going to thank you all, Alex and Mark, and also Professor Rasmussen-Pagadi. Thank you very much for joining us for the news. As I said, we will be talking about Phonethi in extra time. So if you're a member of UK Column, join us then. Thank you to all the viewers and listeners who've come in today, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye.